The American dream is a statistical anomaly. You were told it was a ladder. In reality, it is a high-speed treadmill calibrated to the exact pace of your exhaustion. Welcome to the middle class, a demographic defined not by what you own, but by how much you owe to keep the illusion of ownership intact. You are a unit of labor in a system optimized for basis points. Your life is a series of DCF models where the terminal value is always zero. Last night, you missed your daughter's recital to finalize a spreadsheet for a vice president you've never met. You didn't cry. You simply processed the $14 copay for your Xanax prescription as a necessary operational expense. Between 1979 and 2024, your productivity increased by over 60%. Your compensation? It crawled by less than 15%. The delta between those lines isn't just a gap, it's the extraction of your time. You have the 401k, you have the Roth IRA, you have the 3,000 square feet and a zip code that promises safety. But the walls are thin and the debt is thick. You aren't winning. You're just paying the entry fee to stay in a game that was designed to be unwinnable. This is the architecture of the middle class, cold, clinical, and entirely indifferent to your survival. Let's look at the gears. Level 1, the small gear. You start here. Level 1, you are 24, armed with a degree that cost $84,000 and a conviction that you are an outlier. You are not. Your salary is a bypass surgery for the economy. It flows into your account at 9 a.m. and is redirected by 9:05 a.m. Rent to a REIT. Interest to a Tier 1 bank. Premiums to a conglomerate. You are a pass-through entity. The system doesn't need your passion, it needs your liquidity. You maximize your 401k because the tax-deferred growth is the only carrot they haven't taken away yet. You watch the Vanguard Target Date 2065 fund with the devotion of a monk. Your social life is the first casualty of operating leverage. You traded your best friend's wedding for a chance to look at 10K filings until your retina's burned. You told yourself it was a strategic pivot. In reality, it was a surrender. You live in a growth corridor. You bought a condo with a 7.2% mortgage. You tell your parents it's an asset. But with property taxes, HOA fees, and maintenance, your internal rate of return is lower than a treasury bill. You are a small gear. You provide the friction necessary for the machine to generate heat. If you stop turning, you are replaced within one payroll cycle. There is no mourning period in the S&P 500. You skip dinner to save time. You eat a protein bar that tastes like chalk and chemicals. It costs $4. You calculate that at your hourly rate, that bar cost you 6 minutes of your life. You are over-leveraged on hope. You believe that the next promotion, the next basis point raise, will finally give you air. But the air is thin at the bottom, and the machine is just getting started with you. Level 2, the debt architect. Welcome to your 30s. You've graduated from surviving to structuring. You're no longer just a gear. You're an architect of your own liabilities. You've discovered the high-octane fuel of the middle class, consumer credit. You have a child now, a new unit of consumption. To provide the best, you engage in leverage, a 529 plan for them, a Tier 3 SUV for you. You aren't buying a vehicle. You're buying a 72-month debt obligation at 8.4% APR. Your life is now a game of tax loss harvesting on a portfolio that's barely keeping pace with inflation. You spend your Saturdays at Costco buying bulk quantities of things you don't need, convinced that the 2% cashback on your executive membership is a sophisticated hedge. You missed your mother's 71st birthday because you were on call for a migration at the data center. You sent a $200 bouquet through an app. The transaction took 12 seconds. The guilt lasted 48 hours until it was suppressed by the sheer volume of your unvested RSU schedule. You and your partner are a power couple. Combined income, $240,000. After-tax reality, living paycheck to paycheck in a high-density coastal hub. You discuss basis points over cold Thai food. Your marriage is a joint venture with no exit strategy. You are a master of the 1031 exchange in theory, but in practice, you are just a tenant of the bank. Every month, you perform a ritual of debt servicing. You are the primary revenue stream for a mid-sized regional lender in Ohio. The promotion comes. A 12% raise. Within 3 months, your lifestyle has expanded to absorb it. New leather interior. A premium gym membership you never use. The hedonic treadmill is recalibrated. You are running faster, but the scenery hasn't changed. You are the debt architect. You have built a fortress of paper. It looks impressive from the street, but the foundation is made of variable interest rates and a fragile connection to a corporate server. Level 3. The Asset Manager. You've reached Level 3. You no longer work for money. You manage the decay of it. You are an asset manager of a mid-tier life. Your vocabulary has shifted from bills to AUM, assets under management. Only the assets are yours, and the management is a full-time obsession. You are 48. You've mastered the art of the stepped-up basis and the backdoor Roth. You spend your Sunday mornings analyzing 10K filings of healthcare conglomerates, looking for a hedge against your own inevitable physical decline. The human cost has scaled with your tax bracket. Your first marriage ended not with a scream, but with a cold bilateral agreement on capital gains distribution. You traded a decade of intimacy for a diversified portfolio. You didn't mourn the relationship. You mourned the loss of the joint filing status. You are now a protector of the principal. You obsess over basis points. A 0.5% management fee feels like a personal insult, an extraction of the hours you spent in airport lounges in Chicago and Charlotte. You are protecting a pile of paper that you are becoming too tired to spend. You have premium health insurance. When your gallbladder failed at 3:14 a.m., you weren't worried about the surgery. You were calculating the out-of-pocket maximum and checking if the anesthesiologist was in-network. Even your pain is a line item in a PPO ledger. You are a millionaire on paper, but a servant in practice. Your wealth is locked. It's in the house, the 401k, and the 529 plans. You have the net worth of a king and the daily liquidity of a college student. You realize that the middle class is just a high-security prison with better landscaping. You manage the assets, but the assets own your time. You are the custodian of your own cage. You've optimized your life for the terminal value, but you've forgotten that in the final calculation, the discount rate is always 100%. Level 4, the system proxy. You have ascended. You are no longer managing your own decay. You are a system proxy. You sit on boards. You consult for private equity firms in zip code 06830, Greenwich. You have become the person you used to fear, the one who views human beings as efficiency ratios. You are 55. You've mastered the carried interest loophole. You don't earn a salary anymore. You harvest capital. Your job is to find redundancies in companies you've never visited. You look at a factory in Ohio and see a 120 basis point improvement in EBITDA if you slash the pension fund. The human cost is now a legacy. Your son graduated from an Ivy League school you paid for in full. You weren't there to see him walk across the stage because you were in a war room in London defending a hostile takeover. You sent a $10,000 wire transfer as a graduation gift. To you, it was a fair market value for your absence. You have achieved intergenerational wealth. You spend your nights with estate lawyers discussing generation-skipping transfer taxes. You aren't a father or a grandfather. You are a fiduciary. Your family is a collection of beneficiaries, and you are the gatekeeper of their dependency. You eat at restaurants where the menus have no prices. You don't feel joy. You feel a lack of friction. You've optimized your life so thoroughly that there is no resistance left. And without resistance, there is no feeling. You are a ghost in a bespoke suit. You realize the middle class was just a feeder system, a nursery for the architects. You've escaped the cage, but you find that the outside world is just a larger version of the same machine. Only here, the stakes are measured in sovereign debt. You are the system proxy. You ensure the gears keep turning, even if you no longer remember why. You are the high-level code that keeps the simulation running. You've won the game. And the prize is the realization that the game never ends. It just gets more expensive. Level 5. The System Architect. You have reached the final level. You are the System Architect. A ghost. You no longer exist in the world of things. You exist in the world of algorithms. You don't buy companies. You move the indices that dictate their survival. You are 67. Your middle-class origin story is a marketing asset used in annual reports to humanize the BlackRock or Vanguard board you chair. You've mastered the 1031 exchange on a sovereign scale. You don't pay taxes, you negotiate them. The human cost is now total. You're spending $50,000 a week on a longevity protocol to extend a life that has become a purely administrative function. Your children communicate with you through your chief of staff. You are a trust, a holding company, a legacy, anything but a man. You understand now that the middle class was never a destination. It was a synthetic buffer designed to protect the top from the bottom. It was the heatsink of the economy, absorbing the friction of labor so the architects could remain cool. You feel nothing. No pride, no regret. Just the cold satisfaction of a DCF model that finally reached equilibrium. You have become the machine. The closing loop. The perpetual motion. The system is indifferent to your arrival, and it will be indifferent to your departure. It is a perpetual motion machine fueled by the desire to be more. Meet the new small gear. She just moved to the city. She's worried about her student loans but excited about her first 401k match. She thinks she's starting her journey to freedom. She doesn't know she's just entered level 1. She doesn't know the entry fee is everything she is. She's ready to turn, and the machine is hungry.